Hello, 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 and welcome to Dear Dana. I know this is kind of an not impromptu show because by the time I try to schedule it on YouTube, of course my clock is off again and it would not let me because everything was off. So sometimes that is how it goes. The best of intentions. You know that saying, hey, Mona McCall. Sometimes the best of intentions. And my day went haywire. I had plans and everything. I woke up at the crack of not necessary, and I ended up taking a nap, and it threw everything askew. So, hey, out in the bushes too, I see you, and I appreciate you, whether you appreciate me or not. But anywho, hey, Marcy, as people are trying to file in, I am here. And I'm going to try not to keep you forever and a day. Tonight's topic, we're going to try to chill it down from all of the social chaos going out there. We know about the big trial going on that I discussed the other night and another night, and we'll probably discuss even another night because it's ongoing. But tonight is about you and me and you and everybody because we have all been guilty of it. Yes, we have. Somebody will come up and go, how are you doing? How are you doing? And what do we typically say? Somebody goes, hey, Monica, hey, Marcy, how are you doing? Hey, girl, how you doing? Oftentimes I'll go, oh, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm doing fine. Hanging in there, right? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. And we'll go, how you doing? Fine, how are you? Yeah. It's like we have all been programmed. Yeah. And when I ask somebody, though, when I do ask somebody, I genuinely want to know. I will give you that. If I ask you how you're doing, I genuinely want to know. I usually make sure I have time for the answer, but I genuinely want to know how you are doing. I do. When somebody goes, I'm good, um, maybe it's the therapist in me. It almost bothers me because I genuinely want to know. Because I've gotten to the point now when people ask me, I typically answer them. I try not to give them a whole book. Sometimes I do. I try not to give them a whole book. But I genuinely want to know how you're doing. Because we have all been programmed. We probably don't realize it. A lot of us grew up, and it's probably because sins of the father, sins of the mother, the way everybody was programmed down the line of children are to be seen and not heard. How many of you grew up with being told, oh, stop crying? Stop crying. What are you crying about? I'll give you something to cry about. I heard that. Marcy's right. So many people don't mean it, they're just being polite. But how many people grew up hearing, I'll give you something to cry about? And I'm thinking, I'm already crying. Why are you going to give me something to cry about? I'm already crying. That usually meant, I'm going to give you a whipping. I'll give you something to cry about. And what people didn't realize as kids is it was invalidating our feelings. It was invalidating our feelings. I grew up and I wasn't supposed to get angry. I wasn't supposed to get depressed. I wasn't supposed to get blue. I wasn't supposed to get anxiety or get upset or get frustrated or have an attitude. I was supposed to be a Stepford kid, basically. So supposed to be just a good kid. And, parents were doing their best. I'm assuming they were raised the same way. But you weren't basically supposed to have any of your own emotions. How many of you can relate to that? Because they were seen as disrespectful or rude or granted, if my daughter rolls her eyes, I have an issue with it. Sometimes she may not even realize she's doing it, but I have an issue with it. I don't like disrespect from my kids. Is she able to have her own emotions? Yes. Do I want to sit down and have a discussion? Yes. I want to hear about her feelings and emotions, just not in a disrespectful way. We can take that curve. But so many of us do not realize we were programmed not to be in connection with our feelings. And that's a lot of why we are like, how are you doing? I'm fine. I'm good. And it's made us not connect with ourselves. And then maybe we had a parent that was disconnected with their own emotions, dysregulated. Maybe we had a parent that had issues of rage or depression or dysregulated themselves, and we didn't want to upset them, right? We didn't want to trigger or upset them. So we walked on eggshells. Hey, Moonchild. Maybe we didn't want to trigger our own parents. We walked on eggshells and sort of internalized a lot of our own emotions as we got older. We went from, don't you cry, I'll give you something to cry about. You're not allowed to be angry and upset about anything, to worrying about, are we going to trigger our parents? Does that parent have a rage issue and you don't want to set them off because they have mood disorders or they don't know how to handle themselves? Marzi says, maybe it's the fact that I'm the fifth child, but in my family it was a given. I didn't need to be told. I can relate to walking on the eggshell, though. Oh, honey, I could for sure. I could sense the energy of what was going on in the house, what may have been going on between my parents, even if I didn't know what was really going on. I could sense the energy of what was going on, and I knew when to kind of reel in maybe what was going on or warn my brothers or my little brother. If your parents aren't in a good mood with each other, is what I'm saying. Saying we are fine is a learned behavior because our feelings were often ignored as children. I'm saying that again. And we did not want to anger or upset someone. Maybe we have learned to suppress or numb our own feelings. We've learned to suppress or numb them. We've learned that we don't want to be any trouble to anyone, from early childhood to adulthood. We don't want to be any trouble. We don't want to trouble anyone with what's going on in our life. Let's take it a step further. Some people don't want to appear as though anything is anything but fine in their life, like they've got their crap together. They want to appear like they've got it all together. And that goes back to, you don't take what's going on inside your house outside of the house. I can remember what goes on inside the house stays in the house. What goes on inside the house stays in the house. And that set precedent to people not believing in therapy. You don't take your personal business outside the house. And that also made people internalize a lot of their depression, sadness, stress, anxiety, grief, etc. And that's a heavy load for people to carry around. And you should not have to carry it around. When people carry all of that junk around, I mean, you can, just me saying those words, you can relate to what a burden and a load that is. Because you should have one person or trusted confidant or a therapist that you can trust, because unless you are going to harm yourself or someone else, it never goes beyond the therapist. You should have one trusted someone or confidant. I am a therapist too. If you don't have one of those, that you can unload and work through all of that, just unload it from your spirit. So you're not carrying all that weight around, so you can work through it. That allows you to thrive as a human being. It allows you to thrive. Otherwise, you're packing it down, packing it down, packing it down, packing it down into your shadow self. And it's suffocating. It's literally suffocating. How many of you grew up feeling like you should not need anything from anyone, much less ever, ever, ever ask for help? You are absolutely right, Moonchild. Moonchild says, whoop, it always comes to the surface. And that's true. It always comes to the surface through you end up self-medicating through drugs, alcohol, food, how you treat yourself, through your behaviors in your relationships. It will creep out in some way, shape, or form. Or you won't pursue your passions and your dreams. It will come out somewhere when you least expect it. Yes, you are so right. Not always in a good way, especially if you hold it in. Look, it is in your shadow sign. If you don't take it out, pick through it, examine it, that stuff creeps out where it wants to, how it wants to. The same when I said my spiritual gifts. I shoved. they creeped out where they wanted to, how they wanted to, in the least expected ways, in ways sometimes I didn't want them to. Where it would go, hey, I'm here. Sometimes your gifts are in your shadow self. And you can't forget that. So it's especially, you may have stuffed down the fact that you are super intelligent, that you had a gift at singing, at art, etc., etc. And because you didn't want to be the center of attention, you didn't want to look like you needed something from your parents that might mean lessons or cost money or make them feel like they needed to do something for you, you stuffed it. There can be good and bad in there. And that means asking for help. And sometimes you cut yourself off at the ankles by not exploring and asking for help. And on the flip side of that, you disregard people that need your help, that might ask you for help because you go, well, I was raised to never ask for help. I see people like that as weak. This is how I think about it. So you set yourself up in this box that is really stinking thinking. Nikki says, we were never allowed to talk about our family life. My dad called counseling a crutch. And they do that because nobody was allowed to get in touch with themselves. They saw it as weak. They saw it as weak-minded. Because everybody was afraid that if you got counseling, you would be labeled as weak, weak-minded, that you would be told that you have some mental illness, a psychiatric condition, that you would go to a mental hospital. They never saw it as a tool to discover yourself, to discover where all of those things that had been implanted in you from family history before might be wrong or might be historically incorrect and making you handicapped in some way. People are afraid of what they do not know. And that is the truth. Think about it. If you were told, you better stop crying, you're not allowed to get angry or upset or feel blue or discuss what's making you feel a certain way, and you have to stuff it all in, and you're very young. Like, babies and children are far more advanced and intelligent than people ever give them credit for. Far more cognizant and able to reason things out than people ever gave them credit for. No worries, my child. Able to process things that are going on around them, and absolutely more intuitive and empathic up through the age of 5 and 6. They almost have to be in order to reason the environment around them. So if you were taught to function a certain way and stuff, it's programmed in you to act as though things are okay. Especially in our generations, 30s, 40s, 50s, on up. And it creates this phenomenon where you don't know how to handle your own feelings, much less other people, when you ask them how they are. If you can't navigate your own, how do you navigate someone else when you ask them how they are and they begin telling you? If you're having difficulty navigating your own. It's important not to judge your own feelings or to deny your own feelings. I don't think people have realized that they have been programmed to shut their feelings down. And people are just beginning to realize how important it is to peel it apart. I mean, this whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing is a pure example of how important it is to look at your back history and own and look at how you were affected. Remember how I said if you don't cope and deal with pain of your past, you repeat. You attract and repeat what you did not deal with. Prime example. But baby, he got it in spades. He didn't cope with and deal with specifically a lot of the pain he dealt with his mom. And he said she was one of the most evil people, even though he loved her, that he knew. And then he attracts it in spades. As wackadoo as the whole thing is, he attracted it in spades. He's repeating, or he did. He repeated. That is a beautiful example. It is so very important that we unload a lot of what we stuffed and examine and just lay it all out. Look at it and realize that a lot of the stuff we carried, especially as a kid, we can look at that kid self and our adult self can help heal that. So we can flourish and recognize, right? We can flourish and recognize and be able to be authentic, our authentic selves. I have a question. How many of you feel like you're able to be and live who you authentically are? I'm sorry I didn't get this thumbnail out there in time to get a bunch of my regulars, but I'm so genuinely happy you guys are out. You ladies, guys are here. But how many of you feel like you're able to be who you think you authentically are? Like truly authentic and genuinely are. That you don't have to hide behind a facade. Kind of quiet tonight. It's just one of those weird nights. We're in this new lunar phase, right? There's this whole shift going on. It's supposed to be good. But Lord have mercy. Every time we get a new one, Marcy says I would say about 70%. Finally, into my old age, I feel like I am. But it's sad to have to get to 101 years old to feel like I'm there, you know? It's like it took me long enough. But 70% is good, Marcy. By the way, I've missed you. Sure have missed you. But I bet we don't think about how we got so programmed to say, I'm good, I'm fine. How are you doing? Oh, Marcy. I would like, you know, I would like people to be able to say how they really are. I almost get disappointed when I check in on people and I ask them how they are, and I tell them about stuff in my life, and they just come back to me and they don't say how they are, or I get, oh, I'm good, and it feels like a cut off, and I'm thinking, Danny, you share too much, and they must not want to get to know you. That's what it kind of feels like. Nikki says, I am working on trying to be more authentic, but it's scary to show my weaknesses. Yeah, I can imagine that it is. And I feel like we have to um, use our discernment with who we show our weaknesses to. We have to show our discernment, especially on the YouTube streets. Sorry, I've got to sneeze. At least I'm not. I did it just in time. I didn't want to sneeze on here because I sneeze so loud, I would blow your eardrums out. Margie said, I've been so isolated, focusing on my job so much that I can't remember how I am. I understand that. I do understand that. I'm trying to grab pieces and parts of myself today. Woo! I've been so out of it. Well, like I said, I woke up so very early, and then I was up for hours. I usually don't eat during the day, but I ate some cereal and blueberries and protein power, power, powder, and it made me a little sleepy, and I slept for a few hours. And I was like, oh no, I messed up my whole day. Messed up my whole day. So now I feel kind of out of it. But it crossed my brain that um, we really need to get to know thyself. We need to know thyself better. Because when we don't know ourselves better, it really affects our relationships. So many people go into relationships only knowing ourselves half cocked, you know? Oh, thanks, Marty. I got so much on my brain between trying to go private practice again and do licensure again and um, doing this. And I'm just like, woo, honey. But we go into relationships half cocked, only showing so much of ourselves because we don't entirely know ourselves. But we're trying to get to know all aspects of this other person when we don't really know everything about ourselves. I bet most people didn't even realize why we always say, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, when they didn't know the background to why we even do that. That we've been programmed like that. Thanks, Marty. We've been entirely programmed to, like little robots, to stuff our emotions down. And now we've got a whole generation that's throwing around psychobabble, and they kind of know what they're saying, but they don't. They think they have a handle on their emotions, but they don't. You understand what I'm saying? They have a little bit of a touch. They know the definitions, but they're not really keyed in on who they are. They're sort of grabbing all these topics and definitions of what is floating around without entirely getting to know who they are. It's sort of like, what are the new words of the decade? So the next decade that comes, and the next generation that starts throwing up all these new buzzwords, is going to be interesting, because there's going to be another switch. I feel like there is. And it's going to switch back down. I feel like it's going to switch back down. So instead of getting so woke, the new generation that's coming is going to key back down. That's what I feel like. You know how everything comes back around? I feel like humans need to turn the focus within. That's going to be the real woke. They need to turn it within and figure that part out. That needs to be the real woke, the real awakening. Body, mind, spirit. Understanding thyself, knowing thyself. Then will there be a huge shift and change, in my opinion. Because right now, I was doing some stretching today, and I thought, is it me? Is it me? Or is what our world has been experiencing over the last while is a lot of dark? Less light, a lot of dark. I've seen a lot of dark, just like I expected. There needs to be a lot more light. A lot more light. Time to rise up, resonate higher. And it's coming, but we have been bombarded with so much dark. TV, radio, social media, so much that I'm just like seeking every bit of light I can find. Seeking it in music, outside, everywhere. And I suggest everybody does it. Everywhere you can find something that brings you joy and lightheartedness and happiness and comfort and chill, do it. Do it. We are in great need now. Great need. I'm not saying not be aware of everything. I'm saying seek respite, happy, joy, breathe, conscious breathing, meditation, any chance you get, every moment you can get. You have to breathe anyway, do your conscious breathing, but every moment you can get to bring something that makes you resonate higher, makes you feel good, brings you peace, comfort, do it, grab it. Please. Because we are being bombarded just everywhere we look and turn. Think about it. Everywhere you look and turn, you are being bombarded. Go outside, stand on the ground barefoot. Do everything that you can do to counteract all of the heaviness that's being thrown at you. Seriously. Because it's coming through your phone and your radio and your television everywhere. But on that note, I want to ask you, how are you doing? Seriously, how are you doing? I will even throw down the link because I seriously want to know, do you have questions? What's been going on in your life? Do you have thoughts? How are you doing? Feel free to tell me. How are you doing? What are your thoughts about all of this? I'm so happy all of you have tuned in tonight. Like I said, it was not a very organized stream tonight. I didn't get my thumbnail down in time, but I just wanted to lay down some food for thought. It's time we start caring about ourselves and other humans, right? When we're asking, how are you doing? And when people are asking you, how are you doing? Let's really begin to care about how each person is doing. Be mindful of it. Anybody want to say? Is everybody scared to say how they're doing? Really? Really? How are you doing? I told you my day was flip flop. I had scheduled so many things, right? What do I end up doing? I ended up passing out on the couch this afternoon. Against my will. It meant to be a few minutes. It was not. It was a few hours. Did not plan that. Thought I was going to be so organized today. Didn't happen. It's like, uh-oh, life happens that way sometimes, right? And Margie said she's at about 70% of feeling like things are going authentically for her. But if you're watching, even in the replay, I want to know how you're doing. I want to know how you feel about things I said tonight. I want to know how you feel in your life, if you feel like you are your genuine self at this aspect of your life. When someone asks you how you're doing, do you answer them? Oh, and I have a quick question too. If you are friends, oh, Nikki's going to answer. My job has become so stressful that I've been crying. I feel totally stifled and micromanaged, more than I can take. I am so deeply sorry to hear that. May I ask what you do for a living, Nikki? And thank you for sharing that. My daughter told me to get some counseling. She's right. It would greatly help that you get some counseling. It would. And if it is that stressful, it is easier to get a job while you have a job, actually. I mean, I know that is often to be true, but if it is causing you that much distress, I would totally start putting your resumes out there. But counseling, definitely. And there may be other triggers as well that are wrapped around that. But maybe you should consider putting out, because right now, so many people during the pandemic left their jobs or couldn't go back to their jobs and realized that they could do work from home or go into other careers, that there are a lot of places that are still without employees, and they're even offering the ability to work from home. That has become a cycle of people lacking employees. So, whatever made it difficult before may be opening an opportunity for you now. So that is something to consider. I don't know what you do exactly. But anything that made me that miserable, hospice recruiter. But I feel like there is another opportunity for you, and I would be working on getting out. But counseling is not a bad idea. But I would be working on getting another opportunity because I'm starting to feel in my gut there is one for you. Your health and your spiritual and emotional isn't worth that. How long have you been there? Nikki, I feel like if you start putting out new resumes, that you will have a new opportunity within 3 months. I would start putting out new resumes. I feel like you will have a new opportunity within 3 months. But I also feel like counseling would do you well. So while you have the job, start putting feelers out there because I feel like this is like an angel message. I feel like you will have a new opportunity. This may now, I feel like you would have a new opportunity by August 1st to September. I would put out new feelers now. So start putting them out there now because I feel like by August or 1st of September, by then, that you would have a new opportunity. If you cannot deal with this management, it's not worth having a nervous breakdown over, and maybe it is time for a change for you. So go outside of the box. Don't be scared of change. Count this as your angel message. Start doing your conscious breathing. Make an appointment with a counselor. Start getting your resume together. Start putting them out there. And look for a new opportunity. I feel strongly within 3 months. So don't fret, okay? Don't fret. My daughter's creeping. She's creeping through the room. You are most welcome. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Nikki. I just feel like within 3 months, it's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. Have you ever, this, I don't know if you have or not, but have you ever looked into being a death doula? At one time I did. I know that sounds strange to some people. I'm going to add grief counseling to my repertoire when I go back into private practice now that I've lost a child. But I had thought about being a death doula. I greatly appreciate you, Nikki. Nikki, it's going to be fine, okay? You can breathe now. It's going to be fine. Just take control of it. It's going to be fine. Sometimes the heavens above give us a kick in the booty when we need to make a change. You know what I mean? Count this as your angel message and just know it's going to be okay. Counseling would do you a world of good. Trust and believe. Like, even therapists have to go to counselors so they don't project their stuff onto their clients. So we don't project our own stuff onto our clients. So we can be objective. You get my drift? So if we're mad at our husband or something, we don't put our own stuff onto somebody that reminds us of our husband. It does a body good. It's like you realize if I'd known I'd feel so much better, I would have done this a long time ago. People just don't get it. It helps you find direction. It helps you unload all that garbage that you're carrying around. People don't need to carry that baggage around. And I understand it, Nikki. I do. But where you're at is not the only place. It's not the only place. You know that. Or the only person to work under. Look, all the pieces will fall into place. Just take a break, a breath and a half step, and start putting things out there. You just kind of have to measure things out. And there's adjoining counties to yours. So, what about anybody else? How are you doing? How are you doing? So, that being said, take time to take care of yourself. Make that special tea. Take a massage or give yourself a massage. Book a massage. Even better, book a massage. Constant state of exhaustion. What are we going to do with you, Marty? How can we alter that a little bit? Are you not taking a day off? What can we do to get you some R&R? You know you have to alter that to function well. Is it that you're not getting rest or that you need to get a checkup? That's what you need to pick apart and look at. Where is the self care in that? That's what I want to look at. The term is wrapping up. It should be less work. I think both. Good. Because you need to get away from your environment, even if it's only for a couple of days or more. Get some rest. Eat well, right? do something that's out of your norm. Have some good self care. Go to a spa or something, or a retreat. Do something for Marzi. Just decompress. Promise me that. Book something. Book something for yourself. Marzi, I would love for you to look at that and book something for yourself. To even promise that you book something for yourself. Hey, Irene. Now, how are you doing now? I know we spoke briefly, but I want to know how your emotions are now. Please do it and get back with me, Marzi, because that gives you something to look forward to if it's about to wrap up. I would love you to go to some little spa resort for 2 days, even, where they will do multiple things. Today is a day, Irene, I would love for you to share. How are you doing? So if you need love and support, this is a place. Share how you're doing, Irene. And share how you're feeling. Hello, Irene. Da, 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 da. I have known Irene for a while. Don't be shy. Or can I share what you spoke of? Okay, I'm doing better, thank you. Feeling more positive about life. Good. Can you share a little bit about what we spoke of? Because you will get the support here. You will get exactly what you're seeking here. We all send love and support and prayers about Ukraine here. Good. A natural supplement for stress, which is helping. Good. Is it okay to ask about the supplement, Irene, so we can share it with others? Is it okay? Or no, it's okay if you don't want to share. Marzi says, yes, please. I'm glad that you're feeling more positive. Good. I'm not watching the news as much. I'm limiting my TV time. That's excellent. I was saying earlier that we're being bombarded from social media, news, radio, everything with darkness right now. And we need to do everything in every moment that we can to do grounding, meditate, to grab every bit music, every bit of joy we can everywhere to help us resonate higher. Social media time, good. Irene, is it okay to share the natural supplement? Marzi would like to know. Like I said, I was stretching today and I was feeling how much it had. Ollie Ultra Goodbye Stress Multi Benefit Blend is the name of the supplement. I've heard good things about Ollie. I've heard very good things about Ollie. I'm going to have to write that down for my daughter. Ollie Ultra Goodbye Stress. Ollie Ultra Goodbye. Thank you. I love hearing that, Irene. And I'm so glad that you're here, Irene. This is a safe place, no judgment zone. We love each other here. We support each other here. We talk about multiple things. And today was about why we don't tell each other how we really feel. Oh, excellent. This sounds very good. Good, good, good. But we need to really get to know ourselves inside out and touch other people, not just touch them, not go, ooh, I'm going to touch you, baby, but really be genuine with people when we say, how are you? And mean it and want to know how people are doing. Because people say it and it bothers me when they don't really care to know, when they're not being authentic. Irene says, I take it right before bed and it calms my thoughts. And as a result, I can actually sleep instead of overthinking and feeling depressed and anxious about the situation in Ukraine. It really helps. Good. It is really bothersome about what's going on there. And we have to keep our prayers up and our hopes and thoughts and feelings and surround them with light. I've been so proud of the leader there and the leadership there. I've been confused about our leadership, but in here, our hearts and love and prayers have always been with Ukraine. Thank you, Nikki. Tonight, we're on the low side of people being in here because I did not plan accordingly. I overslept. And my apologies. My apologies. We're on the low side of people tonight. But you will always get love and support in here. We usually have more folks. So welcome, Irene. We've got Nikki and Marzi. And we had Monica McCall here earlier. And we have our lovely people in the bushes. But we usually have a lot more here. But anyway, I probably need to wrap up. Like I said, it's been an awkward, crazy night. But I love you all so very much. Please always send me any questions in my email or on IG or on the comments below of any topics you would like to dive into, anything that you want to know. You are most welcome. Or if you just want to shoot me an email, even, or a message, no problem. I'll always answer you back. But everything's the same. My email is Dear Dana 1111 at gmail dot I can't see .com. That's right. And my IG is Dear Dana 1111, the same, at Dear Dana. I try to keep everything easy because when I got hacked, I think that hacker's still going down my list. So my IG is at Dear Dana 1111 2, not 2, also. So everything's kept easy. So you can contact me there. And here, drop your comments down below. But yeah, if there's topics you want to talk about, if you want to make a comment about what we talked about tonight, drop it down below. We're getting close to having a community page. Please, oh yeah, I always forget to say this, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps eyes get on this on YouTube. It helps us to expand. We want to grow this channel. Yeah, from that other, from the hackers, yeah. I had grown that page so large. I had over 3,000 followers and they just ripped it away. Ripped it away. Instagram didn't care. They didn't help me. They just took all my pictures, my whole channel away. You rest well too. If anyone wants to buy me a coffee, you can do so. There is my PayPal and my, what was the other one? I don't know. Cash App down below. If you want to buy me a coffee, you can do so. You don't have to. That's okay too. I love everybody coming here. If you want to drop a comment below after the live is ended, please do so. I will always answer you there as well. You are always free if you want to tell me that what you'd like to talk to me about, to drop a comment below about anything psychological, anything spiritual, anything social commentary. And if you have a problem and need advice, you can drop a comment below with the problem as well. I'm tired. Can you tell I'm still tired? How wackadoo is that? I took a long nap, still tired. And remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. That is so, so true. I love all of you. Take care of yourself. Do something good for you, positive. Take a few minutes. Self care is so important. Don't say you don't have time. You do. Take a few minutes of self care. Epsom salt bath. Stand on the ground barefoot. Have an ice cream cone. Dance to your favorite song. Do some karaoke. I don't care what it is. Take a few minutes of self care. I love you. I see you in the bushes. Love you too. Thank you, Marzi, Nikki, Monica McCall. Who else am I forgetting? Thank you, Irene. And to everyone, Moonchild. Yeah, don't want to forget Moonchild. I love you and have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Saturday night. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye bye. I didn't even do my intro. See what a dingbat I am tonight. I'll do it now. Anyway, so they'll know that they came to Dear Dana. Take it easy, everyone. And until next time, bum 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 bum.